Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from
your company name here.
Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast.
What's up, OG5? Welcome to another episode of the What's Your Head podcast, where we talk about, well, as the name implies, everything. You thought I was going to say what's in your head, but that's too on the nose. Come on, people. We've been around too long for that radio bullshit shtick. Morning show. No. What's up, guys? Oh, what a freaking week. How are you doing, friend? How's life?
It's been a week here, too.
I guess technically everywhere it's been a week, but what a week it's been. Let's talk scam, shall we? Do you know what gift card draining is?
Is it the fees that are charged when you don't use a gift card quickly enough?
No, I think that's illegal. I think now the expiration date is like 10 years from the original purchase date. I guess they figure if you haven't used it in 10 years, that's on you. No, I wasn't aware of this until, well, last week or so. So, as you all know, my birthday was on June 29th. And as you all know, we're old around here. We're becoming grandfathers. Congratulations to Morgan for being like grandfather number 15. But my daughter, Sariana, is having her first kid, and we had her baby shower the day before my birthday. Now, in the past, my father has gotten my daughter a gift card, and it hadn't worked. And I'll be honest with you, I chalked it up on her not knowing how to use it. Sorry, it may make me a dick, but it is what it is. I think I just reimbursed her the money, and it was just easier than dealing with it. So on June 28th, the day before my birthday, my father stops at the big green grocery store up the street. Not the one that I go to every day, but the one another 5 miles away, because every 5 miles there's a big green grocery store. And he picks up two Visa gift cards, puts money on each one, brings them to Sariana's baby shower on June 28th. Gives her hers, leaves my birthday card in the car because he didn't want my birthday card to get lost in the shuffle of all the cards at the baby shower. Perfect sounding, perfect idea, good. He bugs out early, forgets to give me my birthday card, not a big deal. I'm 48, I'll get over it. So the next day, my daughter calls me and says, hey, that gift card Grandpa got me, it's not working. I can't use it on the internet. I'm like, what's wrong with it? The CVV2 number scratched off of it. Well, that's fucking weird. Go to try to use it in person and let me know if it works. So the next day she tries to go use it in person. It doesn't work. Now, when you call the 1-800 number on the back and you go through the menu, they want you to put the CVV2 number in to verify you own the card. Of course, you can't when it's scratched off. So a few days later, my dad texted me, said, hey, open your garage door, because I just happened to drive the Volkswagen to work because gas prices. So my truck was in the driveway. So my dad assumed I was home, and I said, no, Carrie's home. I drove the Volkswagen to work. And I said, well, hold tight. Well, I texted her to open the garage door, but in that time, he texted me back, hey, I just left your birthday card on your driver's side seat of your truck. Okay, no worries. Get home, get it, open the card, gift card. It's still in the Visa envelope. Flip it over. The tab is pulled off because for those of you who haven't bought a gift card in ever, they come in a cardboard sleeve, and there's a pull tab on the back that has to be there when you grab it off the shelf, because they're just at the end of the shelf. There's nothing on there, just essentially a piece of cardboard with a barcode. It's not until you take it to the grocery store clerk, they pull the tab, they scan it with their zipper, and then they put in the fund, and then voila, the gift card is now activated for your use. They give you the gift card and give you a gift receipt. But that cardboard tab is the security. This isn't like cards of yesteryear. This isn't like a scratch your lottery ticket where it has the gold or the silver scratchy. There's no reason to take a coin to a gift card because there's nothing there. It's the hymen, if you will, is the cardboard zipper that you pull off the envelope. So if you get the thing off the wall and the hymen's broke, put that whore back or throw it on the ground. You don't want it because it's been tampered with. Hypothetically, one would think that the training at the grocery stores is if somebody brings up one of these envelopes and that tab is gone or that hymen is broke and flapping in the wind, take the card, give it to customer service, go to the counter, get a new card, pull the hymen yourself, zap it, activate it, give it to the customer with a gift receipt. There you go. And so now I open up my gift card and the CVV2 number scratched off of it. I'm like, well, that's fucking weird. And so I too try to use it the next day. I actually at a different, the green store that I go to every night, and it beep. Clerk tried to pull it up. People wait in line. I said, never mind, don't worry about it. I don't want to be that asshole, right? We've all been behind a guy with the checkbook, right? You got places to be. I didn't want to be the guy with the checkbook. So I said, don't worry about it. I put out my debit card, paid for my stuff. I wasn't wanting to use the gift card to pay for my groceries. I wanted to use it as a gift, but I wanted to see if something was on it, which I couldn't do because when I tried calling the 800 number, they wanted the CVV2 number, which I did not have. And so I looked online. As you guys may or may not know, I have a video. I think it has 137,000 views. I posted 9 years ago on what to do when you accidentally scratch off your Microsoft Office serial number. And every year, like clockwork around Christmas, that video gets another 28,000, 30,000 views from every heavy-handed kid, grandmother, father who every other comments are the same. I accidentally scratched the key code off my Roblox card. I accidentally scratched the key code off my Amazon gift card. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? Keep in mind, this video is 9 years old. This is back when you could call Microsoft, talk to somebody on the phone, give them the number on it, and they would give it to you. Those days are long gone. People don't want to talk to you. No one has phone support anymore. So the best you can do is Google that shit. But thanks for comment anyhow. Engagement. So as I just suggested to our finer audience, if you're trying to figure out, I went to Google. What do you do when the CVV2 number is scratched off your gift card? And that's when, as you guys may be aware, Google is now AI. As soon as you type in something, they'll give you the websites, but before that, it'll be a paragraph from AI. And it said, hey, if you have a gift card with the serial number scratched off, that's called gift card draining. And here's the scam. And the scam only works really one of two ways, maybe three. You get the gift card, you break the hymen, you take a picture of the serial number, unless you want to write that shit down manually. Good luck not getting caught. And then you scratch off the CVV2 number, put the card back, or in case if you're a corrupt salesperson, you scan the card, you activate it, you give the gift card back to the person. Because once again, this is a gift card, right? Hypothetically, this gift card is not going to be touched for maybe 10 hours to 2 months, depending on if they're shipping this thing to Alaska in a birthday card. The perfect plan. So you go home after work, you go to Amazon or you go to wherever, you put in the gift card number, boom, you just got yourself $100 worth of free shit. That's the only way it could truly work. Or if you're a computer hacker or a computer programmer, you have that information, right? You put the card back and then you put it in a database of a computer script that runs, because the whole scam wouldn't work if you're doing this manually, right? What, you're going to go to a Walmart, take a picture of 4 of them, put them back on the shelf, and then what? Go to a website every 30 seconds manually see if somebody's actually bought that gift card? No, it's a useless scam. You could be waiting a month before somebody buys that gift card, right? So the only way, there's only one real way this works, and that is at the cashier level, meaning that somebody who works for that place, captures that information because they know how much money's on it. They know it's active. They can go home and get the information off of it. Well, I had the gift card receipt, and it had the clerk's name on it. My daughter had hers. She went back to that store 2 weeks ago and got her money back. Great. Problem solved. But I was not annoyed so much at the fact that I lost, $50. I was annoyed that my dad just got taken for $100. He's retired. He's on a fixed income. He don't need to be throwing away $100, some scammer. And as I just explained, I'm thinking, this has to be an inside job. Because once again, if you're a crackhead, you're going to go to Walmart, capture that number, and then what? Wait? How long could, there's no return on your investment. The likelihood that you'll actually type that number and on a website, try to buy something after that card got, unless you put it at the very top of the stack and you did enough of them. Just the numbers don't work unless you're going to load that shit into a computer code and have a program running every 2 seconds to capture that money, right? Other than that, it's the amount of time and hope to get lucky. But anyhow, so I prepared my argument and I went down to the local grocery store and I asked for a supervisor. And I just basically said, hey, Grant, same thing I just laid out. Here's the receipt. My father bought 2 of these at the exact same time, off the exact same clerk. Both cards had the CVV2 numbers off of them, and both cards were completely drained. And I explained either A, you have somebody living in the neighborhood coming here fucking you with your cards, or B, you have an employee who A, isn't trained up enough to know not to scan a envelope without a hymen, or B, he's stealing the cards himself. I'm thinking B, especially after I talked about a different grocery store a few weeks ago where we talked about the kid having the meta glasses, right? And so, and I tell her, hey, here's the gift card, and I know she knows this, but I say the teller's name's on it. Now I see the teller's name. I'm going to change his name for the sake of this conversation. We're just going to call him Steve. Why? Because the guy behind me, Steve's the generic name we use for everything. And so long story short, she comes out, she's like, hey, I got to report this, blah, blah, blah. We're going to eat it. I'm going to give you the $50. I'm like, cool, that's fine, whatever. Once again, I'm more concerned you got a fucking employee here who's draining gift cards. So we walk by up to the gift counter or the customer service counter. She's doing her thing to give me the $50. And there's this little tiny diminutive little dude, probably about 19, collar buttoned all the way up to the top, baseball cap. He had on the horned glasses. At first I thought they were meta glasses, but they weren't. They were just that style, metal bottom, had the whatever they call those horned glasses, but they weren't meta glasses. I can spot them a mile away. See the name tag, says Steve. There he is. There's the mastermind. And Steve standing over the manager's shoulder. Once again, I made it known to the manager. I knew who the cashier was because I pointed out his name was on the gift receipt. And I said, hey, Steve, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. You having a good day, Art? Yeah, it's going good. I'm like, fuck. There goes my mastermind. There goes my mastermind argument. Steve's clearly on the spectrum. So possibly that leans to his innocence that perhaps he wasn't aware that he was ringing up tampered gift cards. It's still, to me, a little odd that you would have more than one tampered gift card and they would get sold to the same person, rung up the same day by the same person. So either A, Steve is poorly trained and is on the spectrum and isn't aware that there's evil people in the world, or more importantly, Morgan, Steve is the Kaiser Sose of the gift card training industry. Why, he's at the green box store, he's got his polo shirt on, he's hi, and then 2 days later he shows up at Target with a bouffant, a completely different personality. Like, hey, ladies, how you doing? He shows up at different retailers and a different personality. But I'm like, fuck. So she gives me my money. I'm like, good luck to you, and I left. But that's just a little heads up for you. If you guys don't buy a lot of gift cards, or your head's in the sand, your head's not on a swivel. Whenever you buy a gift card, when they give it back to you, make sure that CVV2 number is on there. If it's not legible, I can guarantee you by the time you get home, that gift card's going to be empty. So just ask for a new one right there on the spot. Say, hey, not saying it's bad, but I'm saying it's bad. Can you deactivate that one and give me one that actually has a CVV code? Because even if it's not tampered with, I can't use that on the internet. You have to have the CVV2. You don't need it at the grocery store when you swipe it. But if you're going to use it online, you need the CVV2 number. So that's a little story from me to you to help you protect your loved ones and don't get got by the Kaiser Sose of the gift card draining industry known as Steve, because he's out there and he's taking your money. He's going to make you look like an asshole when your grandkid goes to buy that video game or whatever and there's nothing on there. Especially if they're not with their parents, right? Then they got the embarrassment of not being able to afford to get something. That's one
And
thing.
now you know.
Knowing's half the battle with G.I. Joe.
Yeah, we're old.
Mm-hmm. Well, while I'm giving you guys a tale of woe and a little heads up, are you a fan of pistachios, Morgan?
Yes, I love the black pepper. Oh gosh, what brand is that? The ones from Costco.
Oh, Kirkland.
No, they're not Kirkland. They're the
D's Nuts brand.
yeah, essentially what I can't remember what the hell they are, but they're good.
Check something for me while I'm talking about this. I believe its pistachios are originally pink in the 70s when they're sold out of Pakistan or grown in Pakistan. But at some point, they started dyeing them green to give them a different color when it's no longer imported from Pakistan. Was that pistachios? It could be a different nut. I know there's a nut that used to come out of the Middle East that was intentionally dyed pink and then they changed the color of it. But I enjoy a good pistachio. And oftentimes I'll get the bag from the grocery store, and you know they come in two different sizes. First and foremost, are you a pre-shelled pistachio guy or a post-shell pistachio guy?
Oh, I'm a do it myselfer.
Ooh, you like the that makes me my teeth hurt because all I can think of is fingernails with salt underneath. Part with saying, or to use your teeth like a pirate. No,
Oh, I know. I bite down on them and uh go to town.
if I'm at home, I'll pull out a butter knife and just stick the tip in there and twist and pop them. I don't mind that. But if I'm at work typing, I don't want to have a tabletop full of dirty ass shells. But they come in two. But was I right about the dyeing of the pistachio, or was that a different nut?
I'm still looking on it.
Just type in pink nut from the Middle East in the 70s. That
It
might.
says pistachios have always naturally been green. Their color comes from chlorophyll. Um, so hang on.
Pistachios used to be. Am I an asshole or not? I typed into Google what nut used to be pink. Pistachios used to be dyed bright pink or red, imported to started in the early 1900s to hide stains from the shell. Modern machine harvesters nuts clearly today, so the company stopped using the dye. But yes, they used to dye them pink.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
There you
red
go.
pistachios, the story behind their disappearance.
Yeah, so they
So,
used to be dyed red, and I think a lot of them came from the Middle East because it was just conducive to the climate. But anyhow, this is more of a warning. Do yourself a favor. So they come in a little handheld bag, or they come in the fucking sack, right? And I don't know about you, but I can slam on a sack of fucking pistachios. One day I had an entire big ass bag of pistachios. And for those of you with sensitive ears, you may want to fast forward a couple of minutes. I went to the bathroom as one does, and I started getting this pain. The pain down below so bad that I couldn't even sit at my office chair once I was done. And then I had to go back to the bathroom and rinse and repeat to the point where I had 2 hours left to work and I almost went home. I'm like, something's fucking, I'm dying here. Something, I'm like, you remember the movie Critters? That little spiky. I felt like I was trying to pass a critter. I felt like I had Sonic the Hedgehog's cousin, which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I got banned from TikTok for 22 hours for making a reference to Sonic the Hedgehog's brother. That's neither here nor there. And I realized it's the fucking pistachios. I ate so many pistachios, it's like I'm shitting out gravel. It hurt so do yourself a favor. If you're going to eat a bunch of pistachios in one sitting, keep it to the single serve bag, not the share with your homeboys bag, because it will do a number on you and you will feel like you just gave birth. Or more importantly, at our age, the question arises, fuck, am I getting hemorrhoids? Because I seriously, for about 10 minutes, pondered that. I'm like, hemorrhoids can completely change my lifestyle. And I'm having all these concerns and hemorrhoid thoughts. And then I was like, I had this not too long ago too. And then I realized I ate pistachios that day too. And so I realized you can overdose your intestinal tract on fucking pistachios. So be wary and don't eat too many pistachio nuts. Your asshole will thank you for it in more ways than one. I don't mind, camping out on a toilet, but I don't want to feel like I'm shitting glass when I'm doing it. It's been a while. Did you do anything over 4th of July weekend?
I did not. I I actually just laid low and tried to stay cool.
Let me ask you an honest question and think about it before you answer. If the 250th 4th of July would have happened in, oh, I don't know, 2010, 2016, would you have possibly celebrated it any differently?
Yes.
Even if you were in the same living situation, have nothing to do with geographical location, more with mindset, how things are. Do you find that perhaps you're not in the current stage of our society, perhaps not as rah rah siskumbah as you once were, or do you think it wouldn't matter? That if you were back home in Fort Myers with your wife, would you have gone out? Would you have made a big deal about it, or would you just chill at home watch Netflix?
I probably would have done something because my neighborhood's pretty big on it.
That's cool.
And I have, I have people there that I could hang out and drink with and, make bad decisions. It's no fun to really, really to make bad decisions on your own.
Well, that's a good thing because if you're the type of person who thinks it's fun to make bad decisions on your own, you're called an alcoholic or a drug addict. That's, that's the difference between responsible drinking and participation in other things and being an addict. Not that
So,
you do it on a daily basis, but the amount of which you consume on a daily basis. You come home, you kill a beer or two to relax. That's fine. You come home, you're killing a fucking 24 a case of beer a night. You got a problem.
well, but
As
define
Mike looks over and
responsible.
sees 18 empty beers on the head of his table. He's only been off work for 2 hours. Well, I ain't hit number 24 yet. If I quit now, I'm responsible.
Well, define responsibility. I mean, if you drink to excess at home where nobody sees it, is that really being irresponsible?
No, that's called a coping mechanism. That's called self-medicating. That calls you're hiding for something or you have an addiction.
Yeah, comfortably numb, right?
Mm-hmm. No, the only reason I ask is because not that Carrie cared because we got two dogs that are terrified of for fireworks, and so the last few years, Fourth of July has kind of become Benadryl Day to us. But I used to be more rah rah siskumbah, and I'm just so jaded as we talked about a few episodes. I'm just so jaded with everything across the spectrum that it's just like I was like, cool. Anywho, so what are we eating tonight? I just it didn't even, other than having that Friday off before the July rolled around, other than my neighbor's lunch. By the way, look, I'm not anti firework. When I worked at 96 K Rock and Phantom Fireworks was a sponsor, and we'd have gift cards that no one picked up. By the way, not that it matters now, most radio stations are dead, but how it worked back then, Morgan won a prize, as he often did. If he didn't show up by 5 o'clock before or up to the day that said event was, by 5 o'clock, that gift card gets thrown in the trash because it lost its value, or those hockey tickets get lost in the thrown in the trash because they lost their value. I won't go over, but we've told the story many times about how I used to go to Everblades games for free twice a week because Wednesday rolled around, I got 15 tickets. The place is 2 minutes across the street. I ain't got shit to do. Let's go have a few beers and watch some hockey and get some free seats. Same thing with these gift cards. Phantom Fireworks paid for the promotion. They want asses in the seat. Hey, here's two $50 gift cards. Basically, at 5 o'clock tonight, I get out at 6. These things have no value tomorrow, or whatever. Maybe no, actually, they were given to me. Those didn't, because those you could use after 4th of July. But there's 2 or 3 years in a row those were given to me. So I would have like $100 worth of gift certificates, and then I would go down there, and the manager would know who I was, and they'd slip me an extra, box or two, whatever. And so I would come home and I would light off fucking $150, $200 worth of fireworks because I was getting them for free. But my point is,
Yeah.
I'm not anti-mortar. I'm not like, Scrooge McDuck. I enjoy a good mortar. I will say, ever since, the Seminole Casino and Immokalee event where me and Dave were with the fire chief at the firework launching site, that public fireworks have lost their luster for me, because when you see them from the launch pad versus seeing them in a crowd full of assholes, you can't go back after you see them from the launch pad. But my point is, and I get it, some of it has to be kids who can't wait. Ooh, Daddy, can we go launch? But who are these guys who are out there launching mortars at 7:30? It's like, dude, it's not even dark out. You can't see them. I'm not talking about bottle rockets and, black cats, Roman candles. Fine, that's fine. I'm talking about $18 a piece triple mortars that are illegal in most states. You get them here that boom. Basically, versions of what you see at your city. They launch up.
Hey, you're gone. Oh, wow. That's
Oh, I
good.
gotta fix my headphones. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. You're nice and hot.
Yeah, well, we know what the problem is. Hold on 1 second.
So did the board shit out?
Yeah, so I had to pull out the formerly known as the Act Computers podcast studio in a box. The one that I took to Mike's house that night. So input, microphone. Let me turn down the volume on that. Un moment, por favor. I'm going to try to take that mixing board apart and see if I can. But this should be getting. That's getting audio off that, but hold on, let me plug in my headphones somewhere I can hear. Actually, I don't need to hear me. I can hear you fine. I just can't hear me talking. That's fine. Hold up. More sound settings, recording, microphone properties, level. Actually, the levels are fine. Let me turn it down here a little bit. How's that? Better?
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Okay. So yeah, my point being is I'm not anti-firework, but and I get your kids may be a little impatient, or perhaps you're drunk. I just don't understand launching off, the preemptive firework launch. Maybe launch one to make sure your mortar ain't gonna fall over and shoot the mother-in-law in the face. But when you're launching 2 or 3 of them, and it's not even dark yet, you're literally wasting like $30 a shot. It's insane to me, and it happens every time.
Well, and I think you were onto something with putting the kids to bed early so you can, really get drunk and stupid.
Or it's the kid saying, "Can we launch with the fireworks yet? It's 3:00. Can we launch with the fireworks yet? It's 4:00. Fuck it. It's only 7, but I don't give a shit. If you little fucks want to see fireworks, here we go."
Well, having a 6-year-old grandson, I understand that. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Look how dark it's getting.
Yeah, you give that little shit some snapping pops and send him on his way. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to just jack my dogs up with some Benadryl, and we're well on our way.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when you have 4th of July, you have barbecues. And as we were discussing earlier, my daughter's, she's got a baby daddy now, and they're doing their thing, and everything's good to go and whatnot. But they invited me and Carrie, of course, to their house a few days after the baby shower, the day after 4th of July, for a barbecue. Right on, right on. So we go over there, and we get there, and Sariana, her sister's there, but her boyfriend's not there yet. And he's supposed to be cooking this Brazilian meat and chicken. It's like 3:00. He's not here yet. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. He shows up with some of her friends, which was cool because basically they surprised her with a cake, and she didn't know her friends are coming over. It was kind of like a last minute surprise birthday party because, it kind of sucks when your birthday's on July 3rd because everybody has plans, right? It's a holiday weekend. They got shit going on. So it's kind of a bummer having a July 3rd birthday party. But so July 5th rolls around. But he said, okay, I'm going to go cook the meat. And they live in an apartment. They got this very cool, when he said, oh, I'm going to cook on the apartment grill, I'm thinking, great, it's going to be one of those steel boxes with the dirty ass grate that you see at every city park in the world. But no, this was like some cinder block built thing with stucco on it. It had a crank that the whole tray lifts up and down.
Like the one at Lakes Park. Yeah.
Yeah, real nice, right next to the pool. And I see him walking out there with a plate of beef and this big old Tupperware dish full of marinated chicken. And I was like, he just got back from Lehigh. Now, I know this is not just a global show, but for those of you listening, to drive from Fort Myers to Lehigh and back, that's an hour and a half round trip with holiday traffic. And I see him carry. I'm like, is the grill going yet? No. Now, Morgan, would you be concerned if someone's taking a plate of chicken and a plate of meat outside when the grill hasn't even been started yet?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Barbecue grill, not propane.
Yeah, you got to get those coals hot.
Now, and for those of our audience who maybe has never ran a barbecue grill, how long on average does it take a charcoal grill to get to cooking temperature?
Oh gosh, 20, 30 minutes.
Precisely. And so he comes back in, he goes back out, and I look at Carrie and said, I'll be right back. She's like, what's the matter? I said, it's 92 degrees out. He just carried a plate of raw meat and, more importantly, a casserole dish full of marinated raw chicken outside to start a grill, and it takes a minimum of 30 minutes for that grill to get to cooking temperature. He's a Brazilian cat. His brother was there, another friend of theirs. So I go outside, and there's 3 20-year-olds sitting around a barbecue grill. As I suggested, the pork and the beef and the chicken are direct sunlight, not even under the gazebo. And I look under the tray, and down at his feet is a bag of classic blue and white Kingsford. Not the red bag, not Match Light, just run-of-the-mill, as we spoke about 3 weeks ago, fucking Henry Ford, Kingsford, Model A bits, all black, and in the center, a little gray ring. All black coal. And I look at him, it's like, I said, first off, you need to take that chicken in. And he's like 23. You need to take that chicken and that meat inside. He's like, why? He's like, because this is going to take 30 minutes to get the cooking temperature, and it's out in the sun. So do me a favor, take it inside. So he takes it inside. He comes back out. I said, where's your lighter fluid at? We gotta get this party going. He's like, oh, I don't have any lighter fluid. I'm using vegetable oil. Technically, vegetable oil burns, but it doesn't exactly. When you're firing up a barbecue grill, you're looking for the.
Absolutely, that's the whole purpose of it.
You look for, if it isn't something that Clark Griswold would do, it ain't going to work for you, right? You want singed nose hairs. You want,
yeah. If it doesn't take yeah. If it doesn't singe the hair off your arms, you didn't do it right.
If this is an Adam Sandler comedy, you should turn around and just the little tip of my hat should be on fire. You want the whoop. If it was a Tom and Jerry cartoon, I would turn around and my whole face would be burnt black. And he's like, no, I'm using vegetable oil. I said, man, I'll once again, now it's almost 4:00. I've got 30 minutes, then the time to cook the food. I said, I'll be back. 3 miles from a Dollar General.
Well, of course, it's Florida.
I zip down to a Dollar General. I get the generic scotch, the match ready, because I'm thinking we'll salt and pepper some of these guys in there to help get the match light shit burning. Help them out a little bit, pass the love around. Plus, he's got a shitload of food, a little extra charcoal never hurt nobody. So I'm checking out, and the phone rings. Hello, this is he. And it's Carrie. She's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm heading back. Why? Because they're getting ready to cook. What the fuck? How long did it take me to drive 3 miles, grab a freaking long nose lighter, some lighter fluid, and I'm thinking, I said, okay, I'll tell him to hold on. I'll be there in a minute. Like, what the fuck? I can just imagine, because one of the biggest mistakes people make grilling is the charcoal's not hot enough, and B, they fuck with their meat too much. Flip it once and leave it alone. People just constantly flipping, because they don't know any better. All right, just keep flipping, and your hamburger falls apart. It falls through the grate. We've all been there. So I get back and I walk inside, and she's like, "They're ready to go." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've been gone like 12 minutes." I get out there, peek my head down. All the charcoals are white. It's up to temperature, and I look down on the ground. Motherfucker, there was a battery operated leaf blower. These sons of bitches completely humbled me. Now, a barbecue aficionado will say, hey, that works, but you greatly reduced the cook time by fucking fast forwarding the heat cycle on this. But he was there cooking the fucking steak, cooking the chicken. Dude's from Brazil. That's on me. I should have knew. He made me. I said, dude, you're fine. So in a pinch, guys, you had too many beers. You forgot to pick up lighter fluid. Your wife's two in the bag. No one can drive. Vegetable oil and a fucking leaf blower. Obviously, you got to have a clean grill. You don't want ashes in there. You're fucking good to go. He made the best goddamn beef and chicken. And we sat there and fucking were drinking Brazilian bourbon and all this other shit. I'll go back again. But yeah, he proved me fucking wrong. Here's the old white guy who thinks he knows what he's talking about. I come back and fucking that thing is just blazing hot. Fucking leaf blower and a little bit of vegetable oil is all you need, fellas. He cranked it up, poured some more fucking charcoal on there when he needed it, cranked it back down. Fucking perfect. So I guess the lesson to be learned is next time, let them prove you right. Don't let them prove you wrong. Let them prove you right. My stomach was thinking, God, we got to fast forward this show. As Morgan said from his life experience, it's going to take 20 minutes. No, with a leaf blower and a little bit of vegetable oil, it took 5.5 minutes to get that shit up to temperature. Because I'm telling you, I was 3 miles from their house. So 3 miles at 45 miles an hour, downtown Fort Myers. Yeah, let's say 8. So within 15, 20 minutes, he had that thing going, because it took me 10 minutes to get there and 10 minutes back. Didn't need my lighter fluid, didn't need my match light. Just needed a little bit of vegetable oil and a battery operated leaf blower.
We used to use air mattress pumps when we were scout camp to get the campfire roaring.
Mm-hmm.
So
you ever see like they dig the hole and then they dig the carb in there?
Yeah.
They call them like jet fires or something.
Yeah, we did that a couple of times. That's pretty cool.
I'm like 2 weeks into my analog watch.
I was going to ask you, how's that going?
Fucking love it. I now realize, and I got to thinking, I think when we talked about it, I don't think I gave it enough credit. I forgot. Before my Garmin, which I've had since 2019, I had two Fitbits. So I've been getting notifications on my arm since about 2012. So almost, 12 years, a little bit longer, I've been getting, it's the vibration. It's the anxiety that comes from just constant, it's not the beep, it's the vibration nonstop. Mm-hmm. Every time you get a new phone, I go and turn off notifications. Perfect example, I put my Garmin on the other night to work out. Arm rose. It's 92. For some reason, the weather app decided to send me fucking sending me notifications that are showing up on my phones. I had to go turn it off. I'm like, no wonder between and keep in mind, I already had all the notifications I had enabled on my phone were text messages and my home cameras. Yeah. So whenever motion kicks off my cameras, but just that, and usually it was when you get in that inevitable cycle of the annoying text chain. Where Sheila, hey everybody, tomorrow's my birthday, and then 38 people text back and everything. Like if your watch is sitting on the table, it would vibrate on the fucking floor. It's that. So if you guys are smartwatch peoples and you're doing it simply for the notifications, take the shit off, try it for 2 weeks, If you're truly using it for health reasons, counting your steps, watching your macros, fine, but do yourself a favor, disable all 100% of your fucking notifications so that thing doesn't do anything other than tell time, track your heartbeat and your steps, and it synchronizes to your watch. Turn off all the double cross communication. Have a one-way communication from that device to your phone, and that's it. It's I mean, I don't want to sound like but it's seriously just something that small. We are so over data nowadays. Just something that small. And furthermore, it's less data I'm letting them sell to make money off it, right? They don't need to know how many steps I'm walking a day. They don't need to know what my heart rate was at fucking 10 a.m. in the morning and from, fuck it. They don't need all that data. So do yourself a favor, start minimizing your digital footprint.
So speaking of that real quick, since we both work in a pseudo corporate environment, how many people do you have in your average email thread, chain, whatever?
Well, I'm not a fair person to ask this to because I work a support desk and technically 100% of my communications are in form of an email. I just see it in a different format because it's written on a website and not in an inbox in my Outlook. But technically every one of those are in my Outlook, my inbox and my Outlook. So literally 100%.
No. I mean, like if you send an email, does it go to 1, 5, 100 people?
Worse. Teams. All of our inner office communications are doing in Teams in real time, and they know if you're at your desk because if you're idle too long, if you're working on something, Teams is smart enough it'll set it to red, or if your mouse isn't moved, it'll set it to red. So worse. At least email, you have some plausible deniability. Oh, I haven't seen that yet. But once again, I was at least smart enough that I don't log into my Teams on my phone unless I'm homesick or working from home.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I need is the Teams notification on my computer, the Teams notification on my phone, and then the motherfucker vibrating my arm, Teams notification. So yes, it's even worse Teams because it's bloop and it's real time and they're expecting you to acknowledge that with a thumbs up, okay, whatever. At least in an email, you have the plausible deniability. Oh, I didn't check my email yet, or I haven't gotten to it yet. But to your point, go ahead.
So in my environment, it's not uncommon for an email to go out to anywhere between 50 and 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is. I'm an old guy. I never had any formal office training. And I understand the concept of if somebody sends me an email, I can reply just to the person that sent me the email.
Reply all. CC, yep.
Reply all is the worst thing that's ever happened to an office environment.
It's the corporate equivalent of the group text.
Yeah, I can't remember what the topic was, but it went out to 300 people, and about 100 people hit reply all. And I'm like, it's enough to make you want to take your big pen and gouge your eyeballs out so you don't have to look at it anymore.
And it's worse when most of those replies are just like acknowledged or okay. They're not replying back. They're not replying back anything that's adds value to the conversation or to the email strand.
Yeah.
It's usually 38 confirmations. Like, fuck, you're dirtying up my inbox.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which my inbox is now up to 4,200 unread emails. And so just a sheer volume of stuff that I receive that I can look at the just the preview. I don't even need to read the email. I was able to glean enough information from just the preview that I don't even have to do anything with it.
Well, wait until the day comes where your company gets forced into a situation where they're going to have to onboard a new MSP, and an MSP comes and says, there's really no reason for you guys to have 6 fucking servers on site spread across 14 different areas with 3 VPNs communicating an email when we can onboard you into Microsoft Azure, connect you to cloud-based servers, get all your team on Teams and SharePoint, and then you're going to long for the day you have email because now you're on Microsoft Teams and email. And if you don't know, Microsoft Teams is like MSN Messenger with Zoom built in. They can call you, they can hit a button and boom, you answer it and you're on video or you're on a voice call, or it's just a simple message like AOL Messenger back in the day. It's all that. It's basically a corporate version of Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
So we use the Google suite of stuff, and so we have all of that. We have
see, Microsoft's not original in any way, shape, or form. They basically stole the Google Office Docs platform and then built in their Messenger app and called it Microsoft 365. So their SharePoint is the same as Google Drive. They just rebranded everything, but then they have the Messenger built and tied into it all. So when you share a file that's over 25 megs, instead of it being sent from the Messenger, it uploads to SharePoint and sends you a link so that it's saved in the cloud. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, super busy week.
So another question: did you make your goal? Your how short were you?
12 miles. I just ran out of time. See, for those you guys don't know, every year for like the last 7 or 8 years, I run the amount of miles that I turn on my birthday. So I had between my birthday's on June 29th. So from June 1st to June 29th, if I'm turning 48, I got to run 48 miles within that span. But the rub is I have to maintain my normal schedule. I can't say, hey guys, I'm not doing a podcast and I got to get some miles in. I can't say, hey guys, I'm not going fishing tonight, or hey guys, I'm not playing video games like I normally do. It's do all my normal shit, but instead of working out, up my miles. And so I was doing it consistently. I got with ChatGPT. All I had to do was a simple 2.6 miles, 6 days a week, 1 rest day. Not a big deal. It sounds like a lot, but for those of you guys who don't know, I'm not a long distance runner, but for me, when I say I'm going out running, it's a minimum of a 5K, which is 3 miles. So when I go running, unless I'm completely just beat up or fucking my knees are killing, I'm running 3 miles every time. Worst case scenario, 1.5 miles. And so some nights I'm putting in the bare minimum 2.6, some nights I'm putting in 3, those couple nights I'm putting in 4. But basically, as my birthday came along, like I said, June 28th, I'm at a baby shower. That was one of my run days. June 29th was my birthday. I had 4 days left. I needed 10 miles. And it was just one obligation kept popping up after the other. And by that point, I am not getting younger. That's why old people run long distances, because we get slower. But at that point, my knees were killing me. My shins hurt. And I made a big, big faux pas. And for those who run regularly, they will know this. And if you're getting into running and you don't know this, this will be helpful. If you're running multiple times a week, even if it's every other day, you need a minimum of 2 pairs of shoes. Because as you run, especially if you're 6'5" and over 220 pounds, that foam cushioning, because all the shoes now are space age foam. It's not like the Nikes that we ran in the 90s. Even if you get the minimum, and it has, and long story short, you're out running 3, 4, 12 miles, that foam breaks down. And even though it rests for 2 days, it hasn't had a chance to re-expand. And so when you're running 5, 6 nights a week, 3 miles at a piece, you should be rotating. So Monday you're running your Brooks, Tuesday you're running your Saucony's, Wednesday you're off, Thursday you're running your Brooks, Friday you're running your Saucony's, Saturday you're running maybe even have a 3rd pair of shoes. And my shoes, at my weight, I can usually get about 230 miles per shoes before they break down to the point where I start getting shin splints and ankles hurt. So not only did I run in the same pair of shoes before I realized it, and when my last 2 runs, I started wearing my other shoes. I was rotating, but at that point, I'd beaten them down and my knees were hurting. And my current running shoes were already about 180 miles in. And so I have shoes that were worth past their running lifespan for me. And it's different for everybody. If you're a 30-year-old 198-pound chick, you can get 50 miles out of your shoes because you weigh half the weight. It's just like anything else, you know. If a bump stop on a Volkswagen Beetle will last a whole lot longer than a bump stock on an F-350 that's always carrying cinder block around. You know, that rubber stop is going to, so everything's like that. And so I got to the point where I was running my knee, and 100% clarity. When I say running, there's a lot of walking involved too. It's just, it's getting in miles. I'm not running 3 miles. I used to go out and run. The way it's working now as I get older, my first mile and a half, I do more walking than running. It takes about a mile and a half for my pains to not go away, but for my body to ignore them. And so when I have a consistent running schedule, like when I was training to run that 30K, I ended up doing 15K because they canceled the 30K when that Mike spotted me. I was running consistently. I was rotating my shoes. I had a plan. But even then, at 47, the first mile and a half, I run, walk. And usually by 2 miles, my body's ignoring the pain. And then mile 3 through 6, I would run, I would do more running than walking. And so as time goes by, your body gets numb to it or woken up to it or whatever terminology you want to use. And the further you go, the easier it is to run those distances, where at the very beginning, my ankles are hurting, my shins are fucking killing me. And I just got to suck it up. You'll get kind of like when you go out, you go out and do something on Saturday, you wake up Monday and your fucking body hurts. You get out of bed, but by noon you're feeling all right because your body's used to moving. The same thing with the running. And so, but long story short, I was like maybe 7 or 8 miles. I'd have to go back and look. And Carrie's like, well, no one's going to know. Just tell them you ran it. I'm like, tell who? I'm not posting shit online. This is between me and me. I'd be lying to myself, but no, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And so since then, I'm back to my weightlifting schedule. Because believe it or not, if you work out lifting weights consistently, and then you can lose a percentage of your gains within 2 weeks of not working out. So that month of me not lifting weights, I could tell a difference in my arms and that. And so I'm going back to the working out and running twice a week, where I used to run 3 times a week and work out. So I've switched it just because I'm getting older, and I want to do different stuff. Just like I'm glutton for a punishment. They haven't announced the date yet, but I watched a video called The World's Toughest Mile. Now, I've ran 5 obstacle course races, 3 of them being, 6. I ran 3 savage races, 2 not 2 Tough Mudders, 2, they went out of business, manic runs and something else. And I've ran, long story short, if you go to Athlinks, I've ran 23 registered races. So that's registered races plus all the training that goes into that. But I've done a lot of obstacle course races. I've done a lot of running. Well, I saw this one, and they're going on tour, and they've already did one, I think, started in Hollywood, and the last one's going to be in Miami. It's the World's Toughest Mile. The first 400 meters is your normal running track like at a high school?
I think so.
First lap, burpees.
Oh, man.
Second lap, lunges. Third lap, bear crawls. Final lap, run. I'm calling it the World's Toughest Mile.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a lot of goddamn burpees.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm sorry. Not technically, they're not burpees. It's still the same thing. You got to jump, get down on your hands, pick yourself up, jump. It's basically, it's a burpee without the jumping in the air and doing the jumping jack thing. But yeah, you're lunging, jumping forward, get down, get up. Yep, you do that for 400 meters. Then you do lunges. Then you do bear crawls. And believe it or not, it's the bear crawl that fucks people up.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Crawling on your hands and knees with your ass in the air, and then you throw in. So I might start training for that, which I'm sure my neighbors would love to see my 48-year-old ass pull bear crawls up and down my street. But how else you train? I mean, they're used to it, right? For the last 10 years, they've seen me carrying fucking sandbags on my shoulder, fucking got a I don't carry it as much anymore, but I used to carry a Lowe's bucket up and down the street. Of course, they don't know how heavy it is, but it had 70 pounds worth of gravel in it. So I'd put that on my shoulder and lug that up and down the street. Or the bulletproof vest, as some might call it, my rucking vest, or the backpack. So they're used to see me carrying goofy shit up and down the road. But yeah, that one might be kind of fun. It's going to suck, but it'd be nice just to say I did it.
Yeah, definitely. That's brutal though, man. Golly.
Kick your own ass. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Why do you do this stuff? Because I want to know that I'm still not a pussy.
Yeah.
I want to know if you find yourself in an emergency situation, that if somebody has to go, like they said in Fury and in the Bible passage, I am here, send me. Or here am I, send me. Speaking of which, as we wrap up the show, because we've rescheduled, so I don't know if we covered this. I don't think we did. Did you hear about the chick in Venezuela, the pilot training school?
Yeah.
For those you don't know, this lady's taking her pilot's classes. They're not her first one, but it was before her solo flight. Because if this was her solo flight, it wouldn't be a news story. She's flying the plane. Instructor's like 30. Looks over her, says, well, I think you got it from here. Straight out of a movie. Opens the Cessna door and throws himself out. No parachute, in case you're asking. Not only does she have to land the plane by herself on a flight that was not considered to be a solo flight, so you're in the back of your head thinking, I got a few more of these before I got to land this bad boy by myself. Not only do you have to land a plane, if that's not stressful enough, let's not overlook the stress of the fact that you just watched somebody fucking die.
Gosh.
That's the part of the story people really aren't. They're talking about, oh, she landed a plane. Land a plane? Fuck that. She has to live the next 30 years with the vision of looking over and the guy just jumping out of a fucking plane. Not just a stranger, a dude you probably already spent, I don't know, how long are these classes? 2 or 3 hours at a shot? I'm sure this wasn't her second class. So she's been in the plane with this guy for a couple hours, at least in the past. She has some sort of rapport with the guy, unless the school rotates fucking trainers. Maybe they do. I don't know. Even still, you're like 30 years old and you got to live the rest of your life. The amount of therapy that's going to take.
Well, what I thought about all this is, how bad does your life have to be?
You're a 30-year-old pilot. I mean, you're a dude with your pilot's license and you're 30. That's like, the world should be your oyster.
And you're just like, yeah, fuck this, man. I think this is the time I'm just gonna walk right off the wing.
And you live in South America? You can fly to fucking Rio at any time and see hot chicks in bikinis?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this poor woman is going to need untold amounts of therapy. I don't think, and rightfully so, you shouldn't. And God willing, you never have to experience anything like seeing or hearing someone die. As a jaded Ute, the what? The Utes. I'm sorry, Your Honor. The youths. As a jaded youth, I never understood this. I'm going to date myself here. I come from the generation that normalized school shootings. I'm not saying that proudly. It is what it is. And the reason I say that is you would always hear about these school shootings, and then the news would inevitably say that the school is going to have counselors for the survivors to talk to. And if you're a jaded Ute, 15, 18, whatever, like, what the fuck do they need counseling for? You know, I can understand if you're next to the guy who got shot, but if you're in the classroom and you hear pop, pop, what do you need? And then I experienced that. No, not at a mass shooting level, but as we discussed years ago now, 10 years ago, renting a house, don't know, not 10 years ago, whenever Peaky Blinders hit Netflix for the first time, I was watching Peaky Blinders. No, it wasn't even Netflix. It was fucking cable TV. It was on BBC, whatever. It was when it, no, I get to the point. It was new, but it was still old enough that you could binge watch, is my point. So I just got done binge watching Peaky Blinders. And I don't know if any of y'all have, like when you're younger, you play Gears of War or video game for 8 or 12 hours, you go to sleep and you're dreaming about the video game. So I've been watching Peaky Blinders all day. For those who don't know, it takes place in 1916. So you're talking like 38 revolvers and knives and all that. And it's 2 o'clock at midnight. Tucker, the Beagle, Carrie are in the same bed with me. I don't have glasses at the time. I only have contacts. My glasses are broken. And here I hear pop, pop. I wake up. No one else is awake. Beagle's dead quiet. Carrie's asleep. I don't hear any screaming. I don't hear any fighting. I don't hear any altercations, fisticuffs, none. No screeching of tires, no breaking of glass, no Hollywood cliche woman going, ah, just pop, pop. Pull out the blinds once again. I have the glasses, the contacts in. Don't see nothing. Don't see tail lights. Don't see any signs of a scuffle. Just pop, pop. Sound like a fucking 38. Must have been dreaming it. Just got done watching fucking 9 hours of people getting shot on TV. Clearly dreaming. Went back to bed. 2 a.m. Cape Coral police. What the fuck? Didn't realize at the time. I used to sleep naked back in the day. Put my Gears of War pajamas on inside out. Didn't realize until after I talked to the female cop. My pockets are all dangling like fucking donkey ears. Go out there. She's like, did you hear anything? I said, huh? She's like, did you hear anything? I said, when? A little while ago. Yeah, I heard sound of what sounded like a 38. Pop, pop. I said, but didn't hear anything. Now, at the time, I lived on a street where this part of the neighborhood now is been blocked off. This Cape Coral is going to turn it to a park because there was only one abandoned house back there, which they bought the property, knocked the house down. But the point being is there's a boat ramp back there, and a lot of high school kids used to go back there and party. I'd go running back there. It's also where I taught 2 of my kids to drive. You'd see burnt, remnants of a pallet fire back there, fireworks. It's just basically a giant horseshoe with parallel roads running, and it's all open field, no houses back there. So a lot of boats would get dropped off back there, a lot of trash, a lot of fires, a lot of drinking. I said, they're always back there partying. I said, I'd go check down there. Wake up the next day. Now, I worked at Stan Haney at this point, which is why we didn't talk about this story on the air, because I didn't want people to know where I lived. Woke up the next morning. Cops are camped out in front of my house. Wink News is camped out in front of my house. You went on Wink News' website, shooting in Cape Coral. They showed the house, and they showed the police tape, and the police tape is wrapped around a mailbox with an American flag stuck on it. That was my American flag in my mailbox. And my oldest daughter lived with me at the time. And it turns out, I've lived this place for 4 years, never knew this. I'm not naive. Guy wasn't selling drugs, but he was moving drugs. He was moving weed. And apparently some young cats found out, and he had, like, we're talking like bricks, pounds of the shit. They shot him with a 22. I wasn't far off. I said a 38. 38 and 22 sound similar in the middle of the night. Shot him with a 22 in his front yard, and he bled out inside his house and died. Walk outside, Wink News wants to talk to me. Once again, I don't need the producer of Stan and Handy be on the fucking evening news about a shooting in Cape Coral. It's no comment. Obviously, no one knows what I look like. Not everybody knew me back then, but if you listen to K-Rock, Stan and Handy, you knew who I was. Told my daughter, don't fucking talk to the news. Don't talk to the fucking news. 6 o'clock at night, there's my daughter standing at the door. I didn't hear nothing. Christ. Talk to the other neighbor. I used to smell weed all the time. I'm thinking, no, fuck, that was me. But anyhow. But the reason I bring all that up to say this, I was probably in reenacting for about 3 or 4 years at that point. But this is when World War II armor started rolling around, and Rabbi Rob was building up his tanks, and I was part of his initial training regiment. So I would drive up, this was like the second time I was there, drive up to Orlando to his farm, and we would go out and do operations so we can work safely around these Sherman tanks that worked. and we can also look like we knew what the fuck we're doing. This was 4 days later. I'm sitting out there in uniform, not my first rodeo. And every time a blank round went off, every time those cannons fired, I fucking jumped. And I realized I had minor PTSD from hearing my neighbor get fucking murdered in his front yard. For like 3 weeks, anytime, straight out of the movies, the cliche shit you hear from Vietnam vets and like movies, every time I heard a car pop, a door slam, I jumped. And I realized, then I realized, oh, now I get it. Now I know why they offered therapy to the kids at the high school who weren't in the same room, were on the other, but they heard the noise. I get it now. I completely get it now. I completely understand. Just, I didn't see it, didn't hear it. I heard the bullets, I heard the gunfire, and post event, I associated that with a death. Obviously, if the guy never died, if the news wasn't out in front of my house, it was just two assholes shooting a 38 in the fucking air while they're drinking beer, I wouldn't have had PST. I still would have heard the sounds. I'm a gun guy. I own guns. I'm not anti-gun. So just the fact that you take something that I'm quite used to, firing noise that I almost accurately described the gunshots. I said a 38, but it was a 22. 38's a little bit bigger. Depending if it's shot of a rifle or a revolver, it could sound close to similar. And it's across the street. And I was asleep. But just having the association that that noise took someone's life was enough to create that PTSD for me. And so I completely get it now. I completely understand the association. And it's crazy how the human mind works, right? Because once again, I just explained, gunshots are nothing new to me. I've been reenacting for years. I've been shot at with blanks, same sound effects, but it's the tying of the information that fucks with your head. Yeah. Bought our house a few years later, 4th of July. Cops down in the street. No, not 4th of July, Father's Day. My bad, Father's Day. Cops at the end of the street. Find out on the news. Dude got drunk, pissed off he wasn't allowed to see his kids, showed up at the baby mama's house, stabbed her 17 times with a knife in her driveway. Got in his car, drove across town, pulled in someone's driveway and shot himself in the head and killed himself. Now, the news being the news, they report the story, but I don't know if the woman ever died. You say, well, how do you not know? Fun fact, when you're a renter and something like that happens, they don't renew your lease.
Really?
The lady whose son got shot at that house was a renter. Some might say you move out because you don't want to live with the memory, which could very well be the case. All I'm saying, in both incidences where someone either got stabbed or shot at a property, the remaining family members did not remain. The house was empty 30 days later. It could just be I can't live with the memory, which I once again completely understand. But the only thing I can say is, in my experience, the 2 times that has happened, both were renters. Their leases were not renewed. They're gone within 30 days. So I don't know if she lived or not. I guess I could Google it, but yeah, yeah. But hey, Cape Coral, we're a safe town. All those fucks. I'm about to wrap it up, but you hear what those fucks are?
What now?
They're considering they're going to do it. I'm guessing because they don't own their own trash trucks. I'm assuming this is a service that the fine people at Waste Management offer.
Is this the code enforcement
This
cameras?
has made national news.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They are wanting, now, for those of you who are a regular listener to this podcast, you heard about my city water woes, and I was explaining how the city comes off to me like the kid from fucking Better Off Dead. I want my $2. They're like an alcoholic or a loser who just realized, oh, I loaned somebody $20 3 months ago, and now they need it. They're not, hey, got my $20. And they're being investigated by the state of Florida for Doge for misspending, and one of the investigations is for the water expansion and overpricing. They did not get their paperwork turned into the state in time, so they got that pressure on them. I hope they're found guilty of misspending and misappropriation. Not like anyone will see jail time, but maybe they'll lose their fucking elected post. But they are so desperate for money that they are willing. They're looking into having AI controlled cameras on the trash trucks. For what reason? Safety? No. To spot code compliance violations so they can write you fines and generate revenue. Ah, look at there. There's a privacy fence going up. No sign of a permit, which don't matter now because the state of Florida. And this is what I think is leading into this. I think they've lost their since July 1st. I think they've already evaluated and already predicting such a loss in revenue. You may not be aware of this. DeSantis just made a statewide law. You can no longer charge permit for any project under $7,000. Now, if they're making if they're making $135 for every permit for every fucking $5,000 privacy fence built in this town, that's a shit ton of money. If they're making $135 for building permit anytime somebody wants to build put a goddamn exterior door in the wall of their garage so they can get out in the backyard, that's a lot of money. So I think they're already anticipating losing so much revenue from projects under $7,000 and what they used to make in building permit fees that they're trying to find a way to raise revenue. And one of these proposals is they are wanting to put AI operated cameras on top of the trash trucks to spot and write up tickets for code violations. Now, I think they've updated it because I looked on the website because I had to throw a couch away. But I know as of 4 years ago, Cape Coral was so broke that they were one of 2 counties out of all the counties in the area that Waste Management, all the states that Waste Management offers trash service in. Cape Coral and one other county were the only counties who did not offer automatic bulk pickup because it cost extra money. Bulk pickup was still a thing, but you had to call it in. You had to call, hey, I'm throwing away my refrigerator. Come pick it up. And then come pick it up. But you couldn't just put it out on the curb and 2 days later it's gone. So the fact that Cape Coral didn't want to pay for a contract to have automatic bulk pickup, which, mind you, one may suggest would be in compliance of code. You don't want shit laying around everybody's place. You want to, because they always say, these type of code, we're not talking like, most of these codes are, these are fucking appearance things, right? Your grass is too tall, your doors, your plywood up in your windows, it's an eyesore, you're bringing down the value of your neighbor's property, right? So one might say in having an automatic bulk pickup so that your neighbor don't have fucking 2 5-gallon paint jugs sitting out on their curb. Ask me how I know, because my neighbor's been trying to throw away 2 5-gallon paint jugs. It's been sitting out on his curb for 2 months because he won't call the chemical pickup people. But my point is, as of at least 4 years ago, they wouldn't pay the extra money to Waste Management for automatic bulk pickup, but they're going to pay whatever money it's going to cost them to have this AI to generate tickets and generate revenue for them. And this is the same code. This is the same county where the mayor gave himself a $5,000 a month raise. And each member of the city council gets a $3,000 a month raise. Most people are lucky if they get 35 cents an hour raise. These fuckers gave themselves $3,000 and $5,000, not a year, a fucking month raise. But we ain't got no money for nothing. We got to charge Don for water that he don't have access to. I'm still steaming about that. Look, I get the deposit, but you guys charged me for water that I hadn't had hooked up to yet, and then charged me a late fee for not paying that bill that I didn't have. But yeah, so hopefully Doge finds him guilty. Hopefully I won't see any money back, but maybe the next poor schmuck, instead of having to give him $37,000, we'll only have to give him 25, 32, whatever. But yeah, they're so ridiculous down here. It's so gross. And it's just, I'm so over it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the What's Your Head podcast, the only podcast that can have complete microphone breakdown failure in the middle of the show, and we're able to fix it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We did it live. Obviously, when you guys hear the playback, I'll shorten the amount of time in which it took to fix it, but we still did it live because we got the gear laying around. But apparently, I'm going to have to take the Act Computers Portal Studio out of the box and take it out of the box because I have a feeling I can disassemble this mixing board, and it's probably got some dust and some scuba in there. I don't know. It's a Mackie mixing board. It's not a Walmart grade Amazon. But I did buy it in 2019, so it's been around a bit.
This has been a Digital 410 production.